How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Unbox. Now, if you guys are looking for a big screen, a flagship phone, and a lot of glass, there's only two options at the moment to go with. It is the iPhone XS Max and the new Samsung Note 9. Now, both of these phones have a lot of features that you guys should be interested in, and today we're going to be going through all of them, seeing which one is the better choice for your money. I mean, when you look at these phones, both of them are well over $1,000. The iPhone XS Max with the 512 gigabytes of storage is around $1,450. Now, I don't know about you, but that's kind of a lot of money. And the Note 9 comes in at $1,250. So about $300 less. In terms of how many options you have to unlock the phone, on the iPhone option, you only have Face ID and you also have a passcode. On the Note 9, you have Face ID, you have fingerprint reader, and you also have a passcode of your choice. So we're gonna be seeing how fast each one is. You turn off the phone, you click it, you look at it, and I don't know if you guys saw that, but there's an unlock button at the very top, and that means that your phone is unlocked. Now, the thing about that is that it doesn't automatically open your phone. It just leaves it unlocked and you have to swipe up. There's a Note 9, you click it, you look at it, and it just unlocks it. I don't need to swipe up or do anything with it. It pretty much just goes to my automatic homepage. If you guys are kind of worried about having your face inside of an iOS, the fingerprint reader is actually a perfect option because pretty much just click it and it unlocks it right away. It's probably the fastest way to unlock your phone because like as soon as you click it, it's unlocked. That's something that the iPhones just don't have anymore. They want you to use your face. So in terms of which one's easier to unlock, I'm gonna have to say that the Note 9 is definitely easier to unlock. I mean, you look at it and it pretty much just goes to your homepage right away. Whereas with the iOS, you have to swipe up. So in terms of build quality, I mean, both of them are pretty much rocking the exact same thing. Tempered glass on the front, tempered glass on the back, and a metal bezel to pretty much go around it. Both of them have dual cameras. Both of them have a true tone flash, which is useful. Now in terms of buttons, both of them have a sleep wake button on one side of it. On the left hand side of the screen, this is where things kind of get interesting. Now, as you guys can see, there is a volume up, volume down on both devices. The iPhone has a toggle switch here, which you can use to either mute your notifications or to lock the orientation of your screen. But on the Samsung, you sort of have this weird button here that's not customizable. It is used only for Bixby. So unlock your phone, you look at it, it unlocks it, you click it, and it just goes to Bixby. You can't change it. Now another thing that the Samsung has that the iPhone just doesn't have is an S Pen. One of the best features is pretty much when your screen is on lock, you take out the S Pen and you can just doodle on the screen right away. It actually sounds like you're writing on paper. It doesn't feel like it, but it was one of the cool things about it. So if you ever like think like, oh, I need to buy tomato, you write, I need a tomato.
My favorite food is tomatoes.
That's pretty much it. So that's kind of handy. The iPhone doesn't have anything like that. The next thing we're going to talk about is, of course, the camera, because both phones advertise that they have amazing cameras. So we have a prop, we have a thing with an apple on top of it with some writing on it, so we can see how crystal clear. See that writing? That's crystal clear right there. But we're gonna see how well each camera can pick it up, and of course, to see how well, blurs out the background, we have a water bottle. So first up, to actually activate the camera on a Note 9, which is pretty simple, or on any Samsung device, is you double click the sleep wake button. So if you double click it, it automatically opens up the camera and you can quickly take a photo with it, which I'm not gonna lie, is pretty useful. So here we go. This is just the normal lens. Yeah, I mean, you see that? I mean, we're gonna show it on screen, but if you see that, it looks pretty good. Now, both cameras have this sort of fake portrait mode where it pretty much tries to blur out the background. So let's get back into camera, double click. We're gonna swipe over to live focus, which is what it's called on Samsung. So you pretty much, you look at the apple. All right, I'm clicking the apple because it says you need to click on it. Come on. And then you snap the photo. How does that look? Does that look like a DSLR? Professional camera shot? It's okay. I mean, as you guys can see, the apple's in focus, the cup is in focus, the water bottle in the background is sort of in focus. I sort of struggled with that. I think it was thinking it was in the background, but also in the foreground. So to use the camera on an iPhone is pretty simple. You either have the camera app, which you can quickly click, or you can come down from your notifications, click the camera app, which is also useful. But when your phone is asleep, so we're gonna put it asleep, you awake it, there's an option here at the bottom. Do you see that? It's like a mini tiny camera option. You can click on it and it goes straight to camera. Yeah, it's pretty good. All right, so here we go. Let's see how crystal clear this iPhone photo is. So first one was horizontal. All right, click. I mean, that was pretty good. And then portrait. So this is where things get interesting, because with the iPhone, move further away. Hello, what the heck? How far away do we need to move? All right, is it focused on the apple? All right, let's see how that turned out. All right, now there's a couple interesting things with the, oh my, do you see the difference there? I don't know about you guys, but the iPhone looks crazy blurred compared to the Samsung one. Now, did I take the Samsung one too close? Maybe that's the problem. Does it say you have to go further out? All right, here we go. Live focus ready. Okay, so maybe before we just were too close. Let's compare the two portrait modes, because this is important. You want that DSLR camera quality without having one in your pocket. All right, so as you guys can see, both of them look pretty good. The backgrounds in both are very out of focus, I will say. Now, the one thing that I do notice is that on the iPhone, if you look at the water bottle compared to the Samsung, it's just a lot more blurred. Now, the one thing that's cool about the iPhone that the Samsung just doesn't have is that you can actually go into it, edit the photo, and you can change how blurry the background is. So if you swipe over this way, you can make it crazy blurry. Do you see that? You see that right there? You see how much you can change it? So right there, everything's like pretty much in focus. F14, you slide it over, f1.4. So for the rear camera of each phone, I mean, they're both pretty good. Both of them are crispy. Now, when you go into the portrait mode, I mean, the iOS camera just has something that the Samsung doesn't. You can choose how blurry you want the background. Like this one right here, we made it crazy blurry. You can change that, which the Samsung you just can't do it. I mean, it looks pretty good, but when you see how blurry it is, that just wins. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna be comparing the selfie photos. It's because everyone nowadays, they take selfies. No one doesn't take a selfie. So we're gonna switch the camera. Ooh, there's beauty mode on. All right, here we go. Take a photo. All right, how does that look? That's how that one looks. All right, switch it, face it. All right, so in terms of selfie facing cameras, I mean, both of them look pretty good. Now, the iOS camera does look a lot better than the Samsung. It tries to make you look more beautiful, which is pretty much what you want out of a camera whenever you take a selfie. The Android one, I don't know, it does something weird with faces. Now, I've used the Samsung for about 2 weeks. You know, I took a lot of photos with a lot of people in it, and it always does something weird to the face. Whether it's with the rear camera or with the selfie camera, it always tries to fix your face, like no matter what. Like I've gone through all the settings, I've turned everything off, you know, just straight camera. It always applies some weird effect to a face, and it's not as good as what the iOS does to your face. So in terms of rear camera, front facing camera, I'm gonna have to say that the iOS just wins. So another important thing that you need to consider whenever buying a phone is how much you're on the screen, how much you're using the phone, and whether or not it's gonna last you a full day. So I've used both of these phones as my main driver for about 2 weeks. Now, the Note 9 straight up has a better battery. It has a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, which, I mean, I was using it as my main driver. I use a lot of screen time. I mean, whether or not I'm watching YouTube, scrolling through Instagram, or just, you know, replying to emails, that sort of thing, it lasted me a full day easily. And I will say I had about 40% left over at the night, which I always charge. The iPhone has around 3,200 milliamp hours, just under that. And I will say from using it, I don't have a problem with battery life. It's around the same drainage that the Samsung has. I mean, I do the exact same thing on both, and both of them lasted me around the same amount. So I still had 40% left over. You can see my battery right now is at 37%. I didn't charge it last night, and I used it all day yesterday. So that pretty much goes to show both of these will last you a full day no matter what. All right, so the last test we're gonna do is, of course, a speed test. Both of these have Geekbench installed. We're gonna be seeing which one is the faster phone. First thing we're gonna do is we are going to check the CPU. So I'm gonna click it. I'm just gonna say run benchmark, and we're gonna see which one does it quicker and which one gets the higher score. You kind of want to protect your investment. I mean, both of these are over $1,000. Both of these are pretty much 2 glass slabs with metal in between them. You need a phone case or a screen protector. So in a later video, we're gonna be comparing which native phone cases to each one of these is just better. All right, these things are almost done. Wow, that finished it a lot quicker than what the Samsung did. So both of these are pretty much the maxed out versions. I mean, both of these have 512 gigabytes. Now, with the Samsung, that comes with more RAM, which means it should have more performance, but it's still going. I mean, the iOS one finished it about 20 seconds ago, so we're still waiting on the Samsung one. I mean, it's not all about the specs. I mean, if I'm being honest, both of these phones are snappy. You don't really notice the difference. Comparing the scores, I mean, in terms of multi-core, both of them finish sort of in the same ballpark. 9,000 versus 11,400. Kind of similar. I mean, anything over 8,000, you won't really notice the difference. Now, the single core score is kind of the surprising part. That's like 2 times faster. That is almost exactly 2 times faster on the new iPhone versus the Samsung. Which phone would I recommend? I mean, to be honest, both of them are amazing. Both of them will last you a day. But the iPhone is just easier to use and it has a better camera. If you are into social media a lot, you know, you like taking photos, you like taking videos, they just look better on the iPhone. That's a huge breaking point for the Samsung. If it had a better camera, it'd probably win, but it just doesn't have that good of a camera. So, my choice, iPhone. Now, if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe. Why? Because we do content like this all the time. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Also, if you want to see any other products, you know, you want to see us review anything, leave them in the comments below. See you later. Peace.